To participate, follow these 3 simple steps. Subscribe to our channel and watch this video closely to the end. I intentionally made one small mistake in this clip, an inaccuracy in the date or the character's name. I'll give you a wink when I say it. Find the mistake and send your answer to our email listed in the video description. Receive a simple additional task by email. You'll need to watch 7-8 minutes of one of our previous videos and summarize it in 2 to 3 sentences. What's in store for you? On December 20th, we'll announce 3 winners, each of whom will win a trip for 2 to Paris with accommodation and an exciting tour of the famous Paris Catacombs included. Subscribe and join in. It will take less than half an hour to complete, and you could be on your way to an incredible journey. Full details can be found in the video description. Good luck! In the depths of your tube, beyond the reach of trending lists and popular feeds, exist channels so strange and frightening that they challenge everything we know about the world around us. Hi, my name is Victor, and I'm the author and host of the channel Scary Mysterious Videos. When we prepare our investigations and reportings, we often find ourselves watching hours of footage to present captivating and informative content to you. Even small channels with short videos can keep a researcher glued to the screen for extended periods. However, the recording we're discussing today stands apart. All we have at our disposal to tell you this story is 1.5 minutes of footage. Despite its brevity, this fragment has been the subject of intense intrigue for years. The mysterious clip of unknown origin is said to have been filmed in 1993 in one of the darkest and most inaccessible parts of the Paris Catacombs. A few years later, it supposedly ended up in the hands of some urban explorers, who passed it on to Francis Freedland, the creator of the podcast Haunted Places, who made it public in the year 2000. The black and white footage, shot from a first-person perspective with an old camcorder, shows an unknown person wandering through the abandoned tunnels of the Paris Catacombs. At first, he walks slowly and somewhat confidently, lighting his way with the dim light from the camera's lamp. However, towards the end, his steps quicken, eventually turning into a nervous run. His breathing becomes heavier, panic sets in as if every step could be his last. He darts from tunnel to tunnel, seemingly lost in the subterranean maze, unable to find his way forward. It feels as though someone or something is following him, yet what or who it might be remains a mystery. The camera never captures any pursuer. The operator doesn't turn back, nor does he try to record what might be behind him. His attention is entirely on the dark tunnel stretching ahead, hiding whatever perils the Parisian underworld holds. In the final seconds, the camera suddenly drops to the ground, landing sideways in a puddle on the stone floor. It captures the owner's feet as he quickly disappears into the darkness, leaving his only source of light behind. The camera continues to film the empty corridor until the tape runs out and the recording ends. The operator remains unidentified to this day. Who was he, and what happened to him? If he was lost and perished in the catacombs, his remains were never found. We have no information about his fate after the last shot. Whether he is alive or dead, or where he might be remains a mystery hidden within these gloomy tunnels. Although brief, this story leaves a lasting impression. It contains many gaps and mysteries that we'll discuss later. But if you, like me, are sensitive to confined spaces, I think your imagination alone will be enough to feel the terror this person likely experienced, lost in those grim tunnels. The history of the Paris Catacombs begins in the late 18th century, when French authorities decided to transfer burials from overcrowded Parisian cemeteries to old quarries, where limestone had been mined since the 10th century. This decision was driven by the dire sanitary conditions caused by overflowing cemeteries, which posed a threat to public health. More than 2 million remains were exhumed and moved into the ancient quarries, creating a true underground city of the dead beneath Paris. The walls are literally lined with skulls and bones, forming corridors of death stretching into the darkness. Today, the Paris Catacombs span over 200 miles, many sections uncharted and hidden from the public. In these forgotten passages, one can find ancient symbols, mysterious inscriptions, and remnants of old structures that bear witness to a centuries-old history lying beneath Parisian streets. Now imagine yourself in our protagonist's position, alone in this endless labyrinth, without any source of light, surrounded by town-like cold and human bones. Can't imagine it? Then just watch this video. He wasn't the first to be lost in this realm of the dead. The most famous case is the story of the Val-de-Grâce hospital gatekeeper, who once descended into the catacombs via a stairwell from the hospital grounds and was never seen alive again. His body was not found until years later, just a few feet from the exit, to reach which, ironically, he was apparently a little short of strength. It is said that the spirit of the gatekeeper still wanders the corridors of the catacombs, protecting those lost in the dungeon and helping them find their way. However, the story is frighteningly silent about what or whom this ghostly gatekeeper protects the lost. There's also a very recent case. In 2017, 3 teenagers got lost in the catacombs and spent 3 days there until they were discovered by a police team that patrols the underground corridors and enforces the ban on areas off tourist routes. Fortunately, the teenagers were rescued, but they were in such a state that they had to be hospitalized and treated for hypothermia. Moreover, we should not forget that catacombs can accumulate toxic gases or simply reduce oxygen levels, especially in less visited areas. The hero of our video may have begun to feel the symptoms of oxygen deprivation, which impaired his coordination and perception and led to a loss of orientation. It is not excluded that in this state he could even start hallucinating. Anyway, all these things and creepy stories don't stop the most desperate adventurers, known as cataphiles. They continue to sneak into the catacombs for a variety of purposes, from organizing secret parties to simply seeking thrills and titillation. According to Francis Freedland, who made this video public, it was one of these cataphiles who gave him this mysterious recording. It is likely that its author and hero was also one of those madmen who were not afraid to embark on a dangerous journey through the confusing underground tunnels. After receiving the tape, Francis was so impressed by what he saw that he decided to organize his own expedition to the catacombs. While exploring, his team seemingly stumbled upon the very tunnels captured on the camcorder. However, their own journey wasn't easy either. One of the planned exits had been welded shut, and the already tired group had to make the 5 or 6 mile return trip through the little explored corridors by the light of extinguished lanterns. The story is certainly fascinating, and the footage that illustrates it is truly eerie. But it does raise a number of questions, and the main one concerns the origin of the footage. First, who were the cataphiles who found the recording? All we can rely on in this case are Freedland's words, that it was found by someone else and brought to him. So, it is not possible to verify the source of the record. Secondly, did Freedland take this recording to the police? If not, why did he choose not to do it? Third, in 2010, Zach Bagans of Ghost Adventures took an interest in Freedland's story and asked him to lead his team to the very places where Francis was searching for the missing man to double-check the details shown in his podcast. But Freedland replied that the location scared him so much that he would never, ever go back to the catacombs. His words sound convincing, but on the other hand, such a position is quite convenient for a man who doesn't want his history to be subjected to someone else's revision. Thus, in essence, the only source of information about both the record itself and the missing person story remains a single episode of Freedland's podcast, which raises a lot of questions. Moreover, from the early 90s to the date of this series, there is no record of any cases of people disappearing without a trace in the Parisian catacombs. In addition, the full version of the footage was never presented to the public. We have only seen 1.5 minutes of the entire footage, just the fragments that were included in the podcast. What was left behind the scenes and why, despite the viral success of the video, did no one ever show it in its entirety? But while I'm inclined to think that this video is a hoax, the bottom line is this: we still don't know if it's actually true. As implausible as I find much of Freedland's account to be, it's not inconceivable that someone could have descended into the catacombs without making other people aware of their intention and disappeared there without a trace. It seems likely that someone listed as missing in police records from the 1990s could have been linked to this sensational recording. So, it's possible that everything Timberland told could be real, and that's where the scariest aspect of the story lies. Well, this mystery is still waiting to be solved, but there are more intriguing stories ahead, and I look forward to seeing you in future issues. Join us in the pursuit of truth and new discoveries. Stay tuned. Subscribe to Scary Mysteries videos right now. Immerse yourself in the unknown and become part of the revelation. Uncover the hidden.